The venue also is a big one here because this is where I kind of split the franchises in half. On one side, on the left side, you have home-based service businesses. What is that? Well, it's something that really could be a business that could be run from home. Maybe you're going to a business, maybe you're going to a homeowner and providing a service, business coaching. Maybe it's expense reduction, it's water and smoke mitigation. It could be mosquito spraying, roofing. Essentially, you don't need an office. Maybe you get one down the road, a flex space, an office with a warehouse. But essentially, the advantage here is number one, you will be up and running in 1 to 3 months after signing the franchise agreement. And that's going to be dependent on your availability, the next training dates, and what is needed for the business. Are there trucks and equipment needed? Do you have to get vehicles wrapped? If not, you can get up and running sooner than later. These businesses are not only up and running pretty quickly, the investment's going to be less. I would say a good area is about 100 to 250,000, depending on the business requirements. Is it a W-2 or 1099 labor model? There's so many different variables, but that gets you thinking about, hey, I do want to get up and running sooner than later. I may want to look at a home-based business to open up potentially an office outside the home, later on. Also, the idea of that lower investment works better for me. On the flip side, there's brick and mortar. And with brick and mortar, these are essentially, you need a location. Customers are coming to you, right? It's a completely different strategy. You do the marketing and the customer comes to you. So these could be gyms. It could be food prep, different venues around health and wellness, cryotherapy, IV nutrition, haircuts, facials, pedicures, tanning, waxing, you name it falls in this space. And these businesses, because they are a brick and mortar, that franchisor will usually provide a third party for a fee and find that right location for you. Because there's a location and there's a landlord, it's going to increase the time to get open. I would say 6 to 18 months, depending on the specific location, working with the landlord. What's the build out look like specifically for that space? Maybe you have a gym franchise and there was already a gym in that space. So maybe a quicker build out time, permits and all that. So it really depends on the location where you fall in the country. 300 to 350,000 would be the average. Could it be less? Yes. Could it be more? Absolutely. But those are just some general ranges. And then you get into the standalone world where you're getting into trampoline parks and certain truck salon suites and things like that. And now you're getting into a much more robust, larger build out, standalone building. There's a lot more costs involved. You don't have to own the building. Some people do. Most people will lease. You're getting into a 7-figure investment. And I would say 1 to 2 years plus to get open. They all have to fall within your comfort range. Sometimes that alone helps you scale back and say, you know what, for my first business, I want to be up and running sooner than later. And people go the service route. Other people are okay opening up at a later date. But my job is not to tell you what's better or worse. My job is to tell you these are the things to expect when looking at these businesses. So we call it the venue, a different way of doing business. The clients and customers are coming to you. Bigger investment, it's going to take longer to get up and running. And those are things to consider, especially if you were recently laid off and maybe you need to generate income sooner than later. Maybe the home-based service business may be a better match. So that is another characteristic that we look at. And by the way, there is zero correlation between the investment and the return. The goal, I think, in my opinion, is finding the right match. And once you find the right match, I believe that business is going to be much more sustainable. You'll do much better because you enjoy the business.
You've considered the finances and the location, but what about your role in the business? The final piece of the puzzle is understanding the day-to-day reality, which we'll cover in the Franchise Freedom podcast.